Hey, what's up, everybody? It's McAwesome guy here. If you haven't noticed, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. As you can see, we're on Calibria. So I'm making a little video for the layers in Calibria and just kind of made some different teams you can try to use. And I'll even show the team I use. It can actually run through all three pretty quickly. Um, I'll go through the runes afterwards. This is a basic team basically for the evil. Um, it's pretty farmable. You just got to remember, you can probably substitute one druid for a jungle heart. So you can either have two jungle hearts or two druids. If you do that, you want to make sure that the druid you keep has the heal and the counter buff. So this one, I kind of looked for speed subs. Um, Actually, you know what? I should probably change him up a little bit. But I'll do that at a later time. The idea is just trying to make sure I have my turn order right for my other team, and just making sure he goes before the jungle heart. That's kind of the idea. None of them really have to be super fast, just kind of faster than your holy swordsman, and even your golem, he can be as slow as you want. He's just there to soak the damage on your team here. So I'll go ahead and get this started. My other druid does run counter as well, but he actually runs the immunity cleanse third skill there, as you can see. For this team, I use the Holy Swordsman leader skill just for a little bit extra crit. On evil, it really doesn't matter. If you can, it's better to have an attack leader skill, to be honest. Just because that's going to actually help you do more damage and drop him faster. Yeah, my Holy Swordsman's runes still need leveled up a bit more. I usually run them with either Eve or the Barbarian or Bone King, just get that extra damage and keep him from dropping down and attacking, and just kind of keeping him bouncing in the air, which I'll show here. This team can also actually be used on the chaotic one as well. It's not as effective, but as long as you can sanctify your Holy Swordsman with Fearless, it works fine. Lawful's a little bit more difficult. Probably would need to level up those 2 5-stars to 6 stars a little bit more, and probably increase the tags. I don't have a whole lot of stats on them. The reason for that is I usually run it with the Elven Queen, and she makes the runs quite a bit easier since nobody takes damage except for one druid. So there was that team. I'll throw it over here on the chaotic one and just show you that it can still work. One of my Holy Swordsmen does not have Fearless, so he will be a little bit of a drop on my team. The reason is I usually run with Bone Kings, so I don't usually run four Holy Swordsmen. It's pretty much the same concept. Apparently they can get lucky and spam attacks like that, but your Golem's going to soak the damage and just kind of eventually let your Holy Swordsman drop the Chimera. So another option you could do is you could actually take out one of the druids for the Elven Queen. Should be actually a little bit safer. You'll have longer immunity and be able to absorb some of these attacks if you have the Elven Queen, and then you also get attack up, so it should make the run move a little faster as well. Which I can do that after this, just to show how that will go. I miss my Bone Kings. Makes this go so much quicker. Another option is the Deo Lord to bring the counter buff. The counter buff's not as important on a team like this, just because, as you can see, it's obviously slower, and they're not getting as much use out of the counters. On the other teams, I'll show you. You can kind of see where the counter buff comes in and why it's so important. I wonder why sometimes these guys go like into the ground, and sometimes they stay perfectly normal on top. It's a weird visual bug. I didn't notice it on the evil one. I'll have to watch that next time. Seems like the guys on the sides. Only the two in the middle. Alright, and there was that one. So, one thing to note is if you actually kill the Chimera, it will go ahead and take down the two guards and refresh them each time you kill it. So they stay down for 2 hours. As long as you kill it once every 2 hours, the buffs will stay down. So we'll go ahead and substitute you for my... just really quickly, I'll go through some of the runes I have on them. So I try to run as much conflict as I can on these teams usually. Just more damage, quicker runs. So basically focus HP on him. This one's actually ruined more for my PvP. I don't usually use him on my teams. So once again, just all conflict. His runes could probably be powered up. Actually, probably need to rework him a little bit. Then more conflict. The whole idea here is just trying to make sure I keep them speed tuned to make sure she goes after the druid. This actually looks like the one I would usually have on my Bone King. So all conflict, attack, crit damage, attack. They're all pretty much going to be the same. For evil, you really don't need more than 40% crit rate total, because you get 30 from his skill, and then you get a bonus 30 from type advantage. It doesn't hurt to have more, especially if you're going to try running this team on Lawful and the Chaotic. And that's them. Speed really isn't important here. The slower they are, kind of the better, especially if it lets you loop your Elven Queen in before them, which I will try to show here. Oh, and I guess one important thing is with the Jungle Heart, you want to make sure you're using the third skill that extends the buffs. So that way they get to keep the invincibility longer, or the immunity longer, and the counter longer. Yeah, as you can see, this is already going faster, having the attack buff on there. Makes quite a big difference. Also, them getting multi-attacks helps too. Alright. So I'm going to really quickly go ahead and shift his runes back to the Bone King. It'd be nice if it worked this way. Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah. Alright, so we will use him. Let's go ahead and throw him in storage really quick, just so it's easier for me to keep track. So the team I mainly run storage. All right, it's a little something. All right, there we go. You and then you can use 1 or 2 Bone Kings. I use 2. If you have 1, 4 Holy Swordsmen work just as well. But this is usually the team I run. With this team, I don't really have any need to make these guys 6-star. Really don't have a need to evolve him, just because he's gonna die anyways, and I'm fine with that. His point was putting up counter, and that's all I needed. This team does work on all 3 pretty successfully. Another option is even running 1 Bone King and Eve, if you have Eve. I was using that for a while, which I can do really quick. So this is my new Bone King, so he's a little less. Should do Eve just so she gets a little bit more attack. And everybody, and we'll run this. This one also works on all 3, which I can show you really quickly if you'd like. But ideally, I would like to have an Elven Queen built solely for doing these, with just all conflict as well. But right now, I'm not quite there yet. I do have a second one, but I need to go ahead and look at trying to put the correct runes on her. Probably speed things up a little bit. So we'll run that one in. Lawful here. The thing is, I think that one may have actually been faster. The rest are in here. So yeah, let's take a look. Let's put Eve in here. The other reason it might be faster is because my other Bone King isn't completely skilled up either. So once that's done, his 3rd skill's maxed, it will speed things up because it'll be for sure extra damage on everybody. I always think that's weird that the passive's a % chance on attacks instead of just there. But, you know, it is how it is. This one tends to take a little longer just because he heals on each one of these jumps. Not a lot you can do about that. No extra hits on the Holy Swordsmans. Also makes it take a little longer. Not too bad. So, well, this is going to be pretty much it. Hopefully I was able to help out a little bit and give you an idea of what you can try to do to get started in Lair, or maybe how you can try to improve your team a little bit. If you ever have any questions, feel free to try to hit me up in chat. I'm usually around. And if you have any other videos you'd like to see me try to make, let me know. And we'll let this finish, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.